I got the roll cage fixed up and put back up here. Everything still lines up nice, so that's a beautiful thing. So for now, we're done with the cage parts. Next step for these, they'll get blasted and painted, or I'm gonna wire wheel and paint them. So on to the next step. We're kind of down to the mechanical bits, really. The J-arms and suspension hubs are still on here, and the gearbox is still on the back, or the chain case is still on the back. I'm gonna get those taken off, but first I want to work on the engine a little bit. So the engine, it has to go out to the machine shop. They're going to install this new connecting rod, which has a pin for the crank, so that has to be pressed in and out. And then also I'm going to put a new piston kit in it. So the current piston is like 70 millimeters, and this is going to be 71.5. So we'll turn this into a 300cc dune buggy. So that's pretty killer. But I'm not going to be doing that, right? I'm going to take it to a machine shop, so I'm going to delegate my own time here. I got this case splitter off of Amazon. Not too sure how I feel about it yet. The welds are either one of two things. They're either going to hold and work awesome, or this thing's going to fly apart and kill me. But I'm going to try and get this case split so I can have a look at the crank. So the name of the game here is slow and steady. I'm just going to apply a little bit of tension with the screw, and then give it a little tap with the sledge, see what happens. I don't want to force anything apart too crazy. It's already started to split on the bottom, which is nice. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but you can kind of hear how it changed a little bit. The case just opened up at the top, so that's perfect. Woohoo! Yes! Look at that, a beautiful sight. Pretty stoked about that. So the case splitter worked pretty well. Honestly, for the 60 bucks or whatever it was, pretty impressed. So I'll have to do the same thing on the other side. We'll get the crank out of here, have a look. Oh yeah, side note here too. I put a little ball bearing in between there. There was a little indent on both shafts. There was no live center or anything, so I put, I think it's like a 5 or 6 mil ball bearing in there with a little bit of copper anti-seize that helped lubricate things. I mean, I don't think it was life or death on whether it would have split this case or not, but it did save the end of the shaft, so pretty happy. Just like I suspected, there was definitely water in this case. Oh man. Oh man. That is ugly. Well, the Amazon case splitter did its job. Worked pretty not bad. This is what was waiting for me inside. So obviously that seal was blown out. That's why there's so much dirt and corrosion in there. I think it's savable once I get it cleaned up. And same with in here. Not so much dirt on this side, but the seal was intact. And the crank doesn't look too bad. I was pretty nervous about this. Honestly, I wasn't sure what it was going to look like in there. But I think it's usable. I think it's savable. Might need a little bead blast or something, but that's manageable. It's really hard to find these cranks and these engines and stuff, so any penny I can save here by refurbishing what I have, it saves me from having to spend more money on this. Once I get all this stuff cleaned up, I'll be ready to take it to the machine shop. I'm sure they're going to love this little project. It's not every day that you see one of these walk through the door, but I'm going to take the 2 lower cases, the crankshaft, and the jug. Just still looking pretty ugly. I chipped away a little bit of the corrosion that was stuck there, but I'm hoping that they'll have enough cylinder wall left still to be able to machine it out. But we're only going 1.5 mil oversized, so as you can see by the steel liner there, there's lots of thickness, so fingers crossed for us.